All right, everybody, we're
Right,
back.
we're back. Week number three, season number three.
Yes, couple threes on the board
Right,
today. So, interesting week again last week. Every week is, I think the cream's starting to rise a little bit, right?
right.
So you're
As,
starting to,
as we as usual, the good teams are starting to make their way to the top.
they are. And the good teams are thumping the bad teams right now. Look, that's when you know a team's good. I have always said, when Ohio State thumps Central Michigan by 77 points or 70 points. That's what they should do, and they
Right,
do it. That makes to
right,
me that makes them a good team.
right,
No,
right,
so that was good to see. I'm not rooting for Ohio State obviously because I can't stand them. But
right.
so let's talk about gambling in sports.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know how much you follow it. I'm on the TikTok. I'm on the Instagram. I
Right,
got an account with a dude that sends me pics. I mean, I'm following it very closely for research for the show, but also for a vested interest
right,
because
right,
I'm a bet man.
right.
Um, so I saw some weird things last weekend, man. I mean,
See,
I hope. I mean, I'm not a conspiracy theorist,
right.
but Jesus, I mean, did you see anything that looked off color for you?
I didn't watch that many games because I was sort of in trans on a vacation. I
Right.
didn't see a lot of the Saturday games. I had to watch highlights and so forth.
Okay. Well, there was a lot of weird shit that happened. Like Kentucky kicking a field goal with 9 seconds left. They were 8.5 point underdogs, right?
Right,
And they kicked the field goal with instead of trying to score a touchdown
right,
to no, it wouldn't have tied the game. It would have gotten closer, right?
right, right. I
They
understand what you're saying.
they went for a field goal, and even Lane Kiffin after the game was like, "Well, that was an interesting field goal."
Right,
I guess some people out there at gambling land are kind of interested in that field goal. People who took Kentucky, right?
right.
Also, it kicked it over the over as well.
Oh, shoot.
That three
Well, then,
points
yeah, then,
kicked the over back into play. So they're watching, and the players know what the lines are. The
right,
coaches know what the lines are, and I got a feeling they're all fucking gambling. Okay,
right,
to me, that's happening.
right.
All right, so I've come up with a new term.
Okay,
We were talking about all these trap games last week, remember?
right, right.
And I got a new term called the
Why don't
reverse
we
trap.
talk about first what a trap game is?
Trap game is the line is so low that you go the opposite way.
Right,
For instance, Illinois at Duke, it ended up it went off at 2.5 points.
right,
Illinois favored by 2.5. Illinois is a pretty good team.
right. Very beat
Brought
South
back
Carolina in the bowl.
brought back like 18 starters.
Right,
Duke is Duke. They're a basketball school, okay? So don't even tell me about Duke being good in football. They're not. The only one that ever won there was the ball coach, all right?
right,
So that to me is a trap game. Everyone was like, oh my God. So all these people bet Duke. I've come up with this new term called the reverse trap, which means Vegas sets that line so low to move all that money to Duke, full well knowing that Illinois is going to thump them, which they did.
right,
And I called it on the show when I was in it with Gary. You guys were like, I don't know, man. Duke, I don't know. It's only a 3 point spread. La, 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 la. I mean, my eyes tell me that Illinois is going
right,
to thump them, and they
right.
did. So that's the reverse trap that they
Good.
try to
All right,
sucker you in, and then
right.
boom, then they hit you. So you have to be careful of that out there, okay, people? Um,
We're gonna get to at least one of those tonight.
yes, 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 we are. There are a few. Dan Lanning, he's an animal, okay?
Right,
He doesn't care. He
right.
didn't care about Gundy. He didn't care about Dion. He didn't care about anybody but him and his team. What say you about Lanning? And
I mean, I guess he was the assistant or defensive coordinator at Georgia, and then he went up to Oregon several years ago.
yeah,
I was listening to something or read it somewhere, and somebody said he's one of these guys who has to have a motivation for everything. He'll find motivation in anything,
like
you
Michael
know.
Jordan.
Yeah, any kind of slight or he'll blow it up and make it like the biggest thing ever. And I guess, Mike Gundy made some comments,
Yeah.
not terrible comments, not complimentary, but
No, right.
anyway, Lanning, I guess, just went ballistic, and
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
saw
but
the results because the lock is now 1-1
yeah.
after the bashing it took in Eugene, Oregon last week.
I do think those things used to be kept undercover.
Right,
And now with social media and everything out there, those things are out there, man. You speak into a mic, someone's gonna
right,
record it.
right,
So I don't think Manning gives a shit, to be honest with you. But I
right,
think those things used to be kept in the locker room, and they're not anymore.
right.
Um, all right, Bryce Underwood.
The quarterback from Michigan, the freshman
Yeah,
quarterback.
I mean, he's a true freshman. He only completed 9 passes, but when he throws a ball, it looks like Terry Bradshaw throwing a ball. I mean, he throws a very tight, hard spiral.
Right,
I think he's a future Heisman Trophy winner. I maybe I'm wrong, but he looks really legit. Like he doesn't even look to run the ball. He wants to throw it and he wants to sling
right,
it all over the field. I really was impressed. I mean, even if they lost and I thought they'd lose. He looked a little overmatched. You can tell that guy's got the goods
right,
in the future. I mean, it's going to take a year to get beat
right.
up a little bit.
Maybe not. Maybe, sometimes these guys can grow up fast.
Yeah, yeah, but I don't not with that Michigan team. I don't think they have enough weapons for him. All right, what say you about the portal? I know you talked about this, and it's interesting the portal because it you have to play in that arena, otherwise you'll get run over.
Right. And I was just something I was thinking about, and I wanted to see what you thought, where we were talking about, playing the under bets, at least in weeks 1 and 2 of
Yeah,
the season, primarily in week 1. But it seems like some of these teams, like UCLA, where there's a lot of guys coming in and a lot of guys leaving, and guys being added like in April, in May, and June, and there's just no time to get that many guys into a cohesive unit. You just can't do it. It's
yeah,
going to take weeks of playing, it seems like, and it seems like that's something you have to factor in.
right. So they've changed it a little bit. They've made the portal, I guess, just one time in January now, after the bowl season.
Right,
Um, Before they had it be in December before signing day. Then you had signing day, and
right,
then you had the bowls, and
right,
then you had spring ball, and you had a portal season after spring ball too. I think there's only just one now. I think they've changed the rule to try to clean that up a little bit.
right,
So guys can't. I mean, there were guys who transferred 2, 3 times just this year alone.
right, right,
Like they transferred in December, showed up, started practice with the team, didn't like what they left, showed up to the new team. We're like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I have a chance. Transferred again in the summer.
right,
I mean, so it is hot open season. It's
right,
free agency. It's crazy. It makes it's hard to root for a guy because you don't know if he's going to be there next year. That he's your
right,
enemy, right? Today's your
right,
friend, tomorrow's your enemy. So it's difficult, man. So I think it's here to stay, though. I mean, I don't think they're going to change it, and I do think that players need the freedom, but let's just regulate it a little bit so it's not haphazard, right?
right. Because it's right now it's the Wild West.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right. What do you say about Lee
Oh,
Corso
yeah,
retiring, Nikki? An old
we
Terp coach, by the way.
yeah, we had talked about this a little uh earlier today, and I think everybody knows Lee Corso was I guess an icon of an American icon, really, after spending, I think, 38 years from 1987 to 2025, every Saturday morning on the ESPN Game Day show.
Right.
And then when they started taking it to the campus starting in 1993 with the Florida State at Notre Dame game. Um, So he was, but you're right. He was a lot more than just a guy who was a great entertainer and brought a lot to the a lot of value to the set.
Yeah.
He, like you said, he was a longtime coach, head coach at Indiana. Was an assistant at Maryland.
Okay.
He was an assistant at Navy. He coached in the pros. He was the head coach, I think, of the Orlando Renegades in the USFL.
Right.
He did quite a lot. I think he was responsible for the recruitment of Maryland's first African American player, Darrell Hill, but I'm not sure of that. But he
Okay.
was he was definitely on that staff.
And
So
he
we're
graduated from
just
Florida State too.
right. He graduated from Miami Jackson High School,
Yeah.
and then played defensive back at I think defensive back at Florida State,
Yeah.
and set the school record for interceptions that's subsequently been broken. But he was a good player.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Heisman watch. Really, only a few players really stood out to me this week. Moneyline Mateer looks really good, man. I mean, he looks like the part. Like Oklahoma looks like they're going to be formidable this year with that quarterback.
Right. Well, he
He
was the
ru-
most expensive player in the portal, so
he was
I think so. I think that, yeah,
runs the ball, throws the ball, is a leader. Um, saw an interview with him after the game. Basically, gave all the credit to the win to his whole offensive line, his defense. Um, kind of a humble guy. I was pretty happy.
right,
Dante Moore's a redshirted freshman. He looked great. I mean, but
right,
Okie State was not nothing. And then I threw in there Luke Altmaier from Illinois, who I thought had a pretty good game against Duke.
right.
Um,
He
now
did. You're
his schedule is going to get tough now.
right,
So we'll see where they end up. But I think it's going to a quarterback this year. I do not see even the kid from Jeremiah Smith from Ohio State, which I really like preseason for the Heisman. He hasn't really done anything yet. Now he may have some Heisman
right,
moments coming up here,
right,
but we'll see what happens. Look, he didn't
right,
really play very well against Texas.
right. A lot of football to be played.
Yeah. All right. Impressed versus depressed. Let's
Right.
go.
A new feature, but a welcome feature. It's pretty good.
Yes.
Okay.
USF.
University of South Florida impressed.
Very
University of
impressive.
University of Florida up the road up in Gainesville depressed. They did
And
not. Um, the South Florida Bulls really pretty soundly beat Florida last Saturday. So
yeah,
so Billy Napier's
back on the hot
again in a
seat.
tough spot.
Back on the hot seat. I
Right,
thought he was out. Now he's
right,
back.
right,
They're in trouble. I think Lagway's playing hurt. They have a schedule that's a murderer's row from here on out. Like USF was an easy win for them, or should have been an easy win for them,
right,
because this week they're going to Baton Rouge and they got Texas coming into town. I mean, they got a gauntlet of a schedule.
right,
They got Georgia still to play. They got to play Ole Miss. I don't
right,
think they play Bama, but I think they play Oklahoma too. I mean, they're completely depressed.
right,
Um, how about Army, Nick? We both liked Army with the points,
right,
17 and a half, a lot of points.
right,
But they go into freaking Manhattan, collect a check for 1.1 million and beat
right,
them.
right.
That is perfect, man. K-State might be in trouble this year. I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean they I guess they had trouble with Iowa State in
yeah,
over in Dublin, and then they got back and they were hosted Army and lost. And
yeah,
Army pretty much owned that game from what I understand.
yeah. Yes, they did. Yeah, I watched some of that. Illinois Duke, I watched a ton of that. Illinois dominated them. Duke had no business being a
Right,
3-point underdog in that game. That should have been more like a 10, 12-point spread, but
right,
we digress.
okay,
Oregon thumped Oklahoma State. We don't have to talk
right,
about that anymore.
right,
And Oklahoma State looks to be in trouble, and Gundy looks to be out there. I
right.
mean,
I think so.
he
Yeah,
may
I
be a
think it's
mid-season departure.
Right. I
Don't be
mean,
surprised if he's midseason. And
right.
if I was a betting man, I'd be fading Oklahoma State the rest of the year. I don't think they got anything. I mean, they're
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Second
I
string
think,
quarterback who got hurt. They brought in the third stringer. He was terrible. No left tackle. That team's in trouble. That
right.
that team is staring at the barrel of 1 or 2 and 10, 1 and 11 or
Right.
2 and 10.
Right. I mean, they've
Um,
had some, they lost to Colorado by 50 last year,
yeah,
and now they lost to Oregon by 60 something.
66. Yeah.
66, yeah, Route 66.
And then I thought Oklahoma was impressive. Um,
Right.
they played well. Michigan's a tough team to play. They're physical. They play hard. The Michigan team, I don't think has enough talent in the right spots. Like they don't have any like playmaker talent except for Underwood.
Right.
But Oklahoma battled with them on the offensive defensive lines, which I thought Michigan would own, but they didn't. All right, let's go. Last week we had a nice record. All
Right.
we had Gary on, our guest. I was 13-6. I had you at 10-5-1,
All right.
and Gary at 15-8-1.
So everybody did better than did well. Everyone hit it
Yeah, no, that
at a
was
high
good, man.
clip.
That was a
Right.
good week. We were
Right.
pretty dialed in.
Right.
We all had JMU. The
Right.
spread was 14 and a half. They lost by 14. They were leading in the third quarter, by the way. Um,
Right.
I watched some of that at the Maryland game. It was fun. Um, Northern Illinois, Maryland, I was there. Maryland looked sloppy. They didn't cover. You both picked Northern Illinois, and Gary picked the under two, which hit.
Right.
Just I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, Maryland's going to beat Towson this week. Obviously, they're going to be 3-0 going into the Big Ten next week, the following week, and
Right.
I don't know what's going to happen, man. I think they might be in trouble. I think Malik might have a hard time this year.
Right.
Um, the defense looked pretty good though. Northern Illinois is not very good, man. We should have stuck 40 on them easily.
Right.
But we held them to, I think, what, 6, 9 points. So not a
Yep.
bad
You got.
effort
Yep. That's right.
defensively. Um, so here's a reverse trap game that actually was a trap game. I thought SMU is going to drill Baylor at SMU. SMU is no joke. These are two very good teams, by the way.
Right.
But Baylor won in double overtime, 48-45. You and Gary both picked that. I picked SMU. Um, Duke, once again, they were 3-point underdogs at home. I picked the Illini. You picked Duke. You
I
got
love
caught.
Duke. Yeah, that
You
was
got caught in the reverse trap there.
right.
And Gary picked the Illini and the under, but it didn't go under. They went way over. It was 45-19 final score. Mizzou, you like them. I like them. I like the over. It went over. And Gary liked Kansas. And Bo Pribilla, you remember him from Penn
Yeah, from
State?
Penn State. Yeah.
Remember he transferred and Franklin
Right.
wanted to keep him. And he's like, I want to play. And he's like, well, you're not playing here. Aller's coming back. He looked pretty good.
Right.
Okay. 30 for 39, 334 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
They're
That
they're,
kid
they're
could,
like a sneaky good program, Missouri.
yeah, yeah, they might be okay this year. We'll see what happens when they get into the meet. But that was a good win against Kansas, who's not a horrible team.
Right. No, not at
Um,
all.
we all like Kentucky. I told you they had a backdoor cover
Right.
with that field goal late. Um, and then the Oklahoma Oregon State we wore that out.
Right.
Um, the Florida USF game, I loved USF. You liked the under, that hit. I hit. Gary liked the over there, but it was a defensive battle. How about Grammatica kid? Martin Grammatica's son, Nico, kicks for South Florida, hit the game winner. That's pretty cool.
Right.
Um, so
Remember when,
on
remember when he tore his knee celebrating a field goal or an extra
Grammatica,
point with the Giants? Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
At Giant Stadium. Yeah.
Um, on Instagram, there was a post of the Florida fans leaving the stands screaming "Fire Billy."
Yeah,
Fire
he's gonna have a tough time down there. It'll be
Not good.
tough. Yeah,
Not good. And then one of his players spit on a USF player and kept alive a drive at the end. Did you see any of that?
I
He
did not.
blew a loogie on the USF player, and they dropped a penalty 15 yards, and it kept the drive alive for the Grammatica game-winning touchdown. So the team's undisciplined. They're unhinged. They're done.
Right, right,
Both liked Army. They won straight out. I would have never
right,
picked them on the money line.
right.
And Gary
Gary
like
had them too.
yeah, he picked them and the under, which hit,
Right,
double hit. Me and you both like Arizona State. We thought they'd go into Mississippi State and win. This just shows you the power of the SEC, right?
right,
Arizona State, Big 12 preseason favorite, all this other trash. They go into Starkville and lose.
right,
Tough place to go play. Not a very good Mississippi State team, but good enough to beat them at home, man.
right. Agree.
Um,
Hard agree.
Yeah, I saw a lot of the Michigan State Boston College game. That went back and forth. I had Michigan State in the under that I didn't hit any of those. You had Boston College. Gary had Boston College. You also had the under, which lost. That was a really good game. Good win for Sparty. I had Oklahoma on the under in the game of the week. You had the under. Gary had the under, and he also had Michigan, which lost.
How did that game go? I wasn't,
It was
it was,
just Oklahoma from beginning to end. They dominated the
right.
game from beginning to
Okay,
end. Michigan made it a little close in the third, beginning of the fourth quarter. They
got it.
scored. Um, I think it was at that point 21-10 or something. But
Right.
Oklahoma just dominated. Underwood just couldn't get anything going, man,
Okay.
offensively. And Mateer did enough to keep enough drive alive to keep eating that clock. 20-3 on the game of the week over the last two seasons. Killing it.
Fantastic.
The game
Well
of the
done.
week. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was really good.
All
I
right.
loved USC. They killed. You had the under that did not go under. 59-20, and Gary had the
Yeah.
over.
USC almost put it over by themselves.
Yeah. And then we all liked Virginia Tech. We thought, all
Right.
right, they're going to come home to
Right.
Blacksburg after losing in Columbia against
Right.
South Carolina. They're gonna show up. And they got thumped, man. I mean, thumped. Vandy took it to them in the second half. Took it to them. Like 347 yards in the second half for Vanderbilt. I mean, what is going? I mean, Brent Pry is on the hot seat. I'm
Right,
sorry,
right.
man.
Yeah, they're, I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. I had a, Virginia Tech shouldn't be playing this badly. They've played good football under Pry. You know, maybe something happening and the players are there's friction or something. It's hard to tell. We just have to file it away and see
Yeah.
what happens.
Once again, one of the doormats of the
Right,
SEC goes on the road and waxes an ACC team. That
right,
once again proven the power of the SEC, man.
right. Oh
It's an
yeah,
unbelievable conference.
right,
And then um, UCLA, which I said has shown me nothing,
right.
continues to show me nothing. Took UNLV, they went. You took the under, and that hit by a point. And Gary took UNLV under, and they both hit. They lost 30 to 23 to UNLV. I mean, the Nico experiment's not working out there now. I mean,
Yeah,
this kid is lost, right?
right. You just can't bring somebody in and just, there's so many people coming in. It must be like a revolving door. I mean, nobody, knows who anybody is. They don't have anybody to hang their hat on.
Yeah,
Last year, they had the linebacker, what was his name, Schlesinger, that the Browns drafted, and they had another linebacker who I think's with Tennessee. And they played to their strengths and they rebounded in October and November. But this year might be tough going for the Bruins.
yeah. I think they would have been better off with Aguilar, to be honest with you.
Right. Maybe
But
you're probably right. We're
they made
going
the
to find out a
trade.
lot about Aguilar on Saturday.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. All right. For the year, I'm 22-13. You're
Well
18,
done.
12-1.
All
Very
right.
nice.
Very
Two
nice
nice
for
winning
both.
records.
All right.
We move on to Saturday.
But now let's get down to brass tacks.
Yes. Noon on Saturday. Oregon coming into Northwestern to play in the small stadium
Right.
on the lake.
Right.
27.5 point favorites, 48.5 point over under. What do you say?
How many points do you see Northwestern scoring here?
10 maybe?
10? I mean,
7? I don't think more than that. I mean, Oregon has some dudes on that team. They
right,
are loaded. Five
right,
stars and transfer 5 stars all over the lineup.
right,
They're good. They're really
right.
good. I'm gonna take Oregon here. I hate to.
A lot of people, a lot of the talk seems to be, but it's the same bet as last week.
Yeah, it feels like the same bet. I think
Right,
Northwestern's going to play. They're not going to let them hang 69 on
right,
them. But I
right,
think it could be a 45-7 game,
right,
52-10, something like
right,
that. I don't think they contain them at all.
right,
And I don't think Northwestern scores that much on them. So
right.
I would take
I'm gonna take the under just because I don't think that Northwestern's gonna score
at
hardly
all.
at all.
Okay. All right. One of the better games of the week.
Right.
Clemson. Which Clemson shows up, Nick?
Right. This is a really interesting game. And the question is here, as we were talking about a little bit beforehand, if Clemson brings their A game and Georgia Tech brings their A game, like Georgia Tech brought last year in Athens against Georgia,
Yeah.
who is the better team here? Who wins? And
Clemson's the better
we
team.
think it's Clemson's the better
They
team.
got better talent. They got
Right,
a better coach,
right,
but they're on the road and they're three
right,
and a half point favorites
right,
in Atlanta. Not a great. There's going to be a lot of Clemson fans there.
right,
Atlanta's only a couple hours from Clemson.
right,
We're not talking about a major. It's a day trip
right,
basically,
right.
and there's probably a lot of Clemson fans, alums that live in Atlanta. So
For
I'm
sure.
I'm going to take Georgia Tech in the 3.5. I think it's a 3 point game. So I love Tech here to cover at 3.5. If it was below 3, I would take Clemson, but I'm gonna take Tech in 3.5, man. I think they get it done. Or lose by 3.
Right. I'm gonna take the Tigers. I know Williams, the wide receiver, is hurt. Um, but I think maybe their defense will play a little better. They'll cause some turnovers. So I'll take the Tigers in this situation. This is gonna be a good game.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. One of the better games of the weekend, I
Right.
said. If Clemson wakes up, they should win the game by 7 or 10.
Right.
Okay. Oklahoma coming into Philly to play Temple.
Right.
I mean, I love Temple. My son went there. I love Temple.
Right.
And, you know, they are not, the line started at 28.5, has dropped 7 points to 21.5 because I guess Temple's coach has got him believing there.
Right.
And saw something on the TikTok that the Philly fans are pissed because Oklahoma said, this is like going to play our JV team.
Right.
That's what the Oklahoma players are saying
Right.
about going to play Temple. So the Philadelphia fans apparently are going to show up at the Lincoln and fire up Temple, which they normally get about 3 to 5 thousand fans.
Right.
So I'm going to take Oklahoma still to thump them though, because I don't think Temple's there. They might psychologically think they're there, but they're not there. They're going to get thumped.
I love the under in this game.
The under,
I'm
okay,
I
51
think
and a half.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
Temple's been playing some D.
Right. I think that I tried to I look this up. I think I have it right. I think this is the first time Oklahoma has played in the Northeast or above the Mason-Dixon line since they beat Pittsburgh, Craig Hayward Ironhead, in 1984. So that's a long time ago, over 40 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're flying. They're flying private. They're not flying commercial anymore.
Right, right, right,
This doesn't mean shit anymore.
right,
All right, Wisconsin coming into Tuscaloosa, 20.5 point underdogs. They have backup quarterback, Billy Edwards, still hurt with a bad knee.
Right.
I think Bama throttles them, to be honest with you, like they did last year in Wisconsin. I like Bama here.
Okay, I can buy that. Yeah, I'll take Bama as well.
And the over-under is 46 and a half. All right, here we go. Game of the
Okay,
week, Nick. This
right,
is it. Obviously, you know who I'm rooting for.
right,
3.5 point favorites for Georgia going to Tennessee. I don't think Tennessee, that's read somewhere they hadn't beaten them in 8 years straight. Georgia's beaten them 8 years in a row. Kirby Smart's never lost to Tennessee. 49 and a half is the over under. Forecast for good weather. I think it's Tennessee's time. And if they
right.
lose, I think it's a close game and Georgia squeaks it out by three. But I do think it's Tennessee's time. Aguilar looks really good. I think Georgia's going to have a problem containing him in the pocket, and Tennessee's defense is not bad. So, and Georgia Stockton has done nothing so far to
Yeah,
impress,
that's the thing. Is
even against
Stockton.
Austin P. I mean, Austin
Right,
P. You should hang 70 on them. This is what we talked about at the beginning of the show. If you're a good team, you hang 70 on Austin P.
right,
Not like 24 points, whatever the hell they scored against was terrible.
right.
So I'm going to take Tennessee here and put my record on the line. What do you got?
I like the under here in Tennessee. I just don't think a lot of points are going to be scored in this game.
Okay. All right. I don't think Georgia's going to score a lot of points.
Right,
All right. Oregon State, 24 and a half point underdogs against Texas Tech.
right. Out in Lubbock.
Out
So,
in Lubbock.
right. So this is Texas Tech is
Loaded up.
pouring money into their
Loaded
NIL
up.
program,
Loaded up.
and I think this is oil money. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the old joke, how do you succeed? How do you succeed in Texas? Get up early, work hard, and strike oil.
Right. Right. That's about right. Or your family has it and they give it
Right.
to you.
And they've got it and they're spending it. And we're going to see what happens here. It could be Oregon. I could see Oregon State getting waxed here. So I'm going to I'm going to lay the 24 and a half points.
So am I. I'm taking Texas Tech at home.
Right.
I think they're pretty fired up about this game.
Right.
Oregon State's a real opponent, not some
Right.
cookie cutter directional school. And I think they show up and they want to brag about their new toys they picked up.
Right.
So
Right.
I think they drum Oregon State.
All right.
All right, backyard brawl. It's nice they're playing this. Hopefully they keep playing it every year. Pitt going into Morgantown, favored by 6.5. 58 and a half is the over under. Um, West Virginia is missing their number one receiver and number one running back. Both
Right.
hurt. And Rich
And
Rod is
Rich
trying to
Rod
find
is
the
back in
answers.
the picture.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Pitt, and I'm also going to double bet this with the under.
Okay.
I think West Virginia is still playing defense, but I think Pitt beats them by 14, 17. I don't think Rich Rod's going to do much on offense with missing his two big weapons.
Right. And I'm going to join you with the same double bet um, in the under.
Pitt in the under?
In the under.
Okay. All right. Um,
So we're moving South Florida is the 4:30 game on.
yes, hang on. South Florida, who's run a gauntlet of a schedule,
Right.
and if their name was Alabama, they'd be ranked number one in the country right now,
Right.
right? But they're South Florida. I don't even
Right.
think they're even ranked yet. They beat
Right.
Boise and they beat Florida. Two
Right.
ranked opponents. They took them both down. They go into Miami, and everyone's like, "Oh, they're playing in Miami." That doesn't mean shit because Miami doesn't really have much of a crazy fan base for college football or for pro.
Right.
Um, Getting 17 and a half points over under 56 and a half. That's a lot. 3 games in a row for South Florida to show up at. And I mean, they're out of conference. It's insane, right? These are the
Right,
3 out of conference games. Good for
right.
them to schedule this hard out of conference. I I think they hang with Miami. They're going to lose, but I think it's going to be under 17 and a half. I'm going to take South Florida here in the points.
I'm going to join you.
Yeah. And 56 and a half, I mean, you have to have some stones to bet the under there because I think Miami is going to run it up and down on them. But I think South Florida's going to do some stuff too. Their quarterback Brown's pretty good.
Right.
Arkansas, 6.5 point underdogs at Ole Miss in Oxford. 61 and a half is the over under. It's a lot of points, and I'm going with the over.
Oh
That,
yeah. All
that
right.
Watch some highlights of Simmons against Kentucky. Their
Right.
quarterback for Ole Miss, he's really nice, and so is Lacey, their running back.
Right.
But the quarterback for Arkansas, Taylor Green, can really play, man. I mean, he's a double threat. He can run it and he can pass it. I think this is a track meet. I think this is
Okay.
up and down. This could be a 45-42 game, 48-45, double overtime. Big scoring game here, I think. That's what I see here. Two big offenses playing each other.
Right.
Neither team plays defense.
Right. Right.
I'm going with the over.
Okay. I'm going to go with Old Miss at home
Ole Miss at
with
home.
us. Arkansas, Sam Pittman, good, tough old coach
Yeah,
against Lane Kiffin,
yeah. This is a game I'm very interested in. ODU getting 7.5 against Virginia Tech in Blacksburg. 50 and a half is the over-under. I'm going to take ODU. And if I was a betting man, which I am,
which you are.
I would almost sprinkle a little something on the money line here. I think Virginia Tech's in trouble. I think they're leaking oil real fast, and ODU is hungry. I could see ODU beating them. We'll see. Don't be
Uh,
surprised if they take them down.
Gotcha. I'm gonna take the under there as well.
The
I
under
mean
50
the
and a
under.
half.
Sorry, yeah,
Okay.
under 50 and a half. Sorry for the
All right. And then we have the night games. East Carolina, 7.5 point favorite at Coastal. A lot of points of travel in that conference, in
right,
the Sun Belt. But I'm going to
right,
take ECU here. I think they've shown something this year. And Coastal, they haven't really shown anything this year. I thought they'd be better than they are, but
right.
they're not very good. So I'm going to take ECU and lay the 7.5.
I'm gonna do the same.
Okay. Florida going into Baton Rouge to have Valley at night. 7.5 point underdogs versus LSU. 48 and a half is the over under. Lagway, I think, is hurt. He's playing hurt. I mean, he doesn't look bad, but they're in trouble, and nobody smells blood in the water like Brian Kelly, man. If he sees you down, he's a little bit like Lanning in that regard. I got LSU here with a serious thumping of Florida.
Boy, this is a tough game to me. I mean, it's at LSU, but he- Florida's traditionally played them tough, I think, right?
They have, they have, and I think they beat him last year too. Yeah, no, I get it. I understand, and I was leaning hard to pick Florida at 7.5. It's a lot of points. But I think Florida is gone. I mean, like the team is, they're like Virginia Tech. I think
Yeah.
they have stopped playing for their
I'm gonna go
coach.
with you and take LSU and lay the points as well.
Okay. This is another,
Billy Napier's gonna give us both a beating, but I'm gonna ride with LSU. It's a good night game to go out, to go out and watch.
oh yeah, yeah. A&M getting 6.5 in South Bend against Notre Dame.
This was a good game last year down in College Station, and I
Yep,
think it's gonna be a good game this year
so do
up
I.
in South Bend.
So do I.
Um, you have Notre Dame favored by a touchdown. I think the Aggie coach Mike Elko, I think he coached at Notre Dame in the past. He wasn't the head guy, but I think he was an assistant there.
I
I'm going
like
to go with
Elko.
the Aggies with this getting 6.5.
Okay. And I am going to take the Aggies as well. I don't think they win the game. I think it's a close game,
Right.
but I also like the under here,
Ooh,
49 and
that's
a
a good
half.
one.
I
Okay.
think this is going to be a back and forth. South Carolina getting 5.5 going into Columbia against Vanderbilt getting 5.5 going against South Carolina in Columbia, 47.5 over under. I really like Vandy here getting that number. I think bad South Carolina is going to show up. So I'm going to take Vandy, and I'm also going to take the over here. I think it's a high scoring game.
Sweet. I agree with you. I'll take the over as well. Over 47.5 at Columbia.
Yep. Duke favored versus Tulane,
Right.
54, 54 points is the over.
Right. Down in New Orleans,
Down in New
maybe.
Orleans, I don't understand how Duke is favored again. Here is that, here it is right here, Nick. This is
Right.
it. This is it again with Duke and the reverse trap. How are they only a one? How are they even favored? Tulane's a good team, man. Tulane's got some dudes.
Right.
I mean, I like Tulane here all day. Money line, 1.5 points, whatever. Tulane's going to beat them. Duke's not going to play with Tulane. Tulane's got some Louisiana LSU rejects
Right.
on their team,
Right.
man. They can play.
We're
What do
gonna
you
see
say?
what happens. It's gonna be real hot out there at night.
Yeah,
It could be interesting.
yeah. Duke locking up with cramps. That's what's
Right.
going to happen.
Right. I think the coach at Tulane is John Summerall. He's a
Yeah,
pretty young coach, pretty good, well thought of. So this
yes.
could be a sneaky good game on just a second here. I got it. This could be a sneaky good game down in New Orleans on Saturday night. I agree with you.
So who do you like?
I like Tulane.
Yeah, kidding me? Ridiculous. And
Right,
then Minnesota, 1.5 point favorite at Cal, flying halfway across the country. They're already in mini. I'm going
right,
to take mini here. I think they're the better team. Um, the one thing with their coach, Fleck, he beats the teams he should beat, and he pretty much loses the teams he should lose to. He doesn't really have any like big victories,
right,
but he does beat the team, and he should beat Cal. So I'm
right.
going to take mini here, Minnesota. What do you
I
say?
like Mini as well. I think they're the more rugged team,
Yeah, yeah.
a little bigger, a little tougher.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Lock
For
it
the
up.
lock of the week after last week's debacle, we're going to go down to Knoxville. And I see this game as being a pretty low scoring defensive struggle. It's not going to be in the mud. The weather looks solid, but the lock of the week will be the under in the Georgia at Tennessee game.
Okay. All right. Yeah. If you had Oklahoma State in 65 last week, you
Right.
lost.
You lost.
Okay.
You lost.
As Warner Wolf used to say,
Right.
and I know you remember Warner.
Right. The great sports announcer in New York and DC both.
Yes. Yes. All right. The RIP, Davy Johnson.
Davy Johnson, who was a great Oriole, in a great Baltimore Oriole as both a player and a manager,
Yep.
and was one was a player with the a 4-time All-Star as a player. He was certainly a very good player.
Yes.
And then he was with Baltimore, Atlanta, where he hit 40 something home runs one year in what was called the launching pad, the old downtown stadium in Atlanta. And then he got into managing with the Mets in 84. 3 years later, or 3 seasons later, he had them in the World Series where they won the World Series, the best team the Mets had ever had in 1986 in a thrilling World Series.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody,
The Bill
right,
Buckner World
right,
Series.
the Bill Buckner World Series. And
Yes.
then I had forgotten about this. He was with the Reds and he won with them.
Yes, he
Do
did.
you remember that at all?
He did. That
Right,
was with the Nasty Boys
right.
with
And then,
Dibble and Myers. They swept the A's
right,
4-0.
and then there was then he went to the Orioles where they
Yep.
had Peter Angelos. I think this was 1996 in that area, and the Yankees won the division, but the Orioles made it as the wild card. And there were some good games. I mean, there was the Jeffrey Mayer game in the first game, and
Yeah.
then the Orioles won the second game,
Yep.
and then games 3, 4, 5 were in Baltimore, and the Yankees just they really hit the hell out of the ball.
Yeah, that was the first run of the Yankee World Series teams.
Right,
The
right,
96 team, right?
right, right.
So,
And then I'm sorry, and then in '97, the Orioles had a great team. Um,
yeah,
they had Armando Benitez was out of the pen. Um,
they brought in
it,
Keith Hernandez, didn't they, on that team?
I don't remember who
And
I'm.
Bobby Bonilla was on that team. They
Bobby
brought
Bennett,
in
I
some
think,
guys.
yeah, it was but he really did a good job with the
It was
Orioles.
Palmero. I'm sorry, it was Palmero,
Right,
Rafael
right,
Palmero,
right,
not Hernandez.
right.
Yeah,
And then they lost to the Cleveland Indians in a great game.
yeah,
Um, this is when they used to have great day baseball games in the playoffs. And I think Maurice Grissom or Marquise Grissom, that was his name. He hit the game-winning home run, and
yep.
then but Johnson wasn't done. He went from the Orioles to the Dodgers, and then he finished up with the Nationals, and he took them to the postseason
He
in like
did.
2010.
He
So he
did.
had 5 teams he managed. 4 of them he took to the postseason, and
Yep.
he definitely a noteworthy guy in baseball, an underrated guy.
Yeah. I did a little research on him. All right.
All right,
So let me give you some stats and some
all right,
things about him. He was the
all
eighth
right,
winningest manager of all time. Um, he get this his career spanned. He had the last hit off of Sandy Koufax.
right,
He batted behind Hank Aaron and Sadaher Ho, the
right,
Japanese
right,
import in
right,
Atlanta.
right,
He was the last manager of Rusty Staub, who was born in 1944,
right.
and the first manager of Bryce Harper, born in 1992.
Wow, it's a big spread, almost
It
50
is a
years,
big spread.
48 years.
Obviously, he won the series with the Mets. When the Mets fired him in 1990, I think they fired him.
That's right. That's right.
He says he told Hank Cashin, "If this team is dumb enough to fire me, then I probably should not be working for them because they're so stupid."
Right,
And then the other famous quote of his was when the Mets beat the Houston '86, the NLCS.
right,
I guess the players tore up the plane,
right,
and when they got back, the Mets management brought a repair or a bill for the repairs of the plane, of the
right.
private plane. And Johnson grabbed the thing and said, "F them, we're going to win the World Series and make them a lot more money." So he always had the players back.
Right,
Great coach of pitchers.
right,
Always had a lot of young pitchers and a lot of young pitchers that lasted a long time because he taught them the basics of how to be a good pitcher.
right.
Worked really well with Gary Carter, always worked hard with his catchers, and he thought that was the key to being a good manager with pitchers, that you and your catcher are working together so we don't get the pitcher in trouble by calling the wrong pitches.
All
Um,
right.
really, really interesting guy. Like, obviously, graduated from Texas A&M as a mathematician, a math major, which is weird, but obviously he's smart. So just an interesting guy, man. I mean, played for Earl Weaver and had some of Weaver's tendencies, but kind of created his own managerial style, right?
Right, right,
Um, but he was a hothead like Weaver, and he didn't like to be messed with. He's like, "I'm your coach. Just get out of my way. I got it. Right? I'm the
right,
manager of this team." And Cashin like to get involved, and I think that kind of ruined that relationship. So
right. All right.
really neat guy. Sorry to miss him. Hopefully his family's okay. And then,
Right.
but we'll
Rest
move
in
on.
peace.
Week three,
Right,
man, looks great. We got a lot
right,
of good games.
right,
I'm gonna try to watch as many as possible.
right.
And
I'm gonna really watch them this weekend.
yeah, there's some good games to watch, and we'll talk next week, man.
All right, man. Sounds good.
Thank you, Nikki. That was
Great
fun.
seeing you. All right, buddy. Take care. See you next week.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.